Welcome to the Lord Windgrace Estates. Hope you're excited. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one in a heartbeat. I love it. We got Fetch Land, we have Deathrite Shaman, we have Underrealm Lich, and just a nice little assortment of lands. Let's get Lord Windgrace pop back up. Let's go ahead and lead off with Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, I think that'd be good. So let's go ahead and crack Arid Mesa. And since we do have the split cost off Deathrite Shaman, we do need to grab ourselves a black source. So let's grab Badlands, have that come into play untapped. Let's go Deathrite Shaman for 1 black mana, then anything else. We're going to go and pass the turn over our opponent. We're playing Lord Windgrace, +2, discard a card, then draw a card. If a land card is discarded this way, draw an additional card. Then for a -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then for a -11. Destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents, then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior creature tokens with Forest Walk. So you end up with your very own little cat army, which is always fun. I guess at this point, since we don't really have much else going on, we do have at least exiling Arid Mesa to go. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just lead off with Stomping Ground. I have that coming to play tapped, and we're going to swing in for 1 on our opponent. I think that'll be okay. Get in for 1 little chip shot. Normally, Deathrite Shaman doesn't get to go into the red zone, so if we can let a mana dork swing in for 1 point of damage sometimes, I like to do that. Kind of, gets them to exercise their legs in a way that they're normally not used to. Normally, they're just doing support, so it's always good. Especially, he gets to show off some of the bones to Feldon. So, we're playing against Feldon of the 3rd path. I'll cover him in a second. So we run into Valakut. Let's see. So we do need at least 1 more black source. And we go Ancient Tomb. Yeah, I think I still like going Underrealm Lich on this one. Or if we want to, we can actually just straight up go Lord. Yeah, let's go Lord Windgrace. The only downside is we're going to miss out on... Well, we can actually exile our opponent's land. So yeah, that's going to be good. So let's go ahead and exile our opponent's Bloodstained Mire. And we're going to add black to our mana pool. And that allows us to go for Lord Windgrace. Yes, I like that. Choose color. We're going to go black. Let's go red and then green. Then 1, 2. And then let's go for Mr. Lord Windgrace himself. Get him on the battlefield. And I think... Yeah, let's go Arid Mesa. Because I want to get that Arid Mesa going. We'll go ahead and crack that one. Grab ourselves a Blood Crypt. Not going to pay 2 life, and then we'll kick it back over to our opponent. So we're playing against Feldon. 3 mana activation. Create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact. In addition to its other types, it gains haste. Then sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. And if you're thinking about building Feldon, I will say that Profros is always good, but Wormcoil Engine, oh, that is that's some fun magic right there. And I think at this point, if we go Oracle... Because we got some good stuff. So we go +2, then draw a card. Yeah, let's go Lord Windgrace. We're going to +1, discard a card. Then hopefully this should allow us to draw an additional card once we get rid of Valakut. We can always bring that back if we need to. Let's go Oracle. That way we can just start cashing a few extra land drops. And we could go Ancient Tomb, but with Porphyros on the battlefield, it may just want to be just a little bit more cautious on this. We go Forest, and then that's all the land drops that we can make for the turn. Let's go and push in with Deathrite Shaman. And once again, the coast is clear, so he can show those bones off to Feldon, swing in for 1. And then we'll go and pass the turn over our opponent. So let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to get into Magic Online, be sure to check out MTGOTraders, whether it's, let's say you watched the Modern Pro Tour this past weekend, you know, play some Modern, they've got you covered. Got a new card in the deck, the Bloodstorm. No, excuse me, I thought that was a War of the Spark card. That's not. But yeah, so long story short, if you play Legacy, Modern, Commander, Penny Dreadful, whatever sort of format floats your boat, be sure to check out MTGOTraders. They will certainly take care of you. And shout out to inkgaming.com. Just search Jolt539 on Ink Gaming to kind of take a look at some of the cool playmats I've got developed. I've got Gonti playmat, Unesh playmat, and just a whole nice mess of cards. Now we go -3. That's going to be 2 more. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's go Arid Mesa, Valakut. And you know, sometimes when you play this deck with Lord Windgrace, you can end up with some really nice board states. So there's just other times where you just end up with some really good, just get a ton of mountains down. So let's go Taiga. We have not gotten to the point to where we can go for the Valakut yet, but we're slowly working that way. Let's go Underrealm Lich. And that'll really allow us to kind of start filtering some of our card draw, looking at the top 3 cards, and just dumping cards into the graveyard for Lord Windgrace. So if we can go for that -3, going for a Valakut, I think that would be pretty good. Let's go this last land drop, Blighted. Yeah, and we still want to hold on to that Arid Mesa, so let's just simply just go and pass the turn. We don't want to swing into that 4/4. kick it over there. But yeah, I've got some the Scry, the Scurry, the Fever playmat. If you want to check that out, it's pretty cool looking, and a few other options. And then also, last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to check that out or like to contribute to that, you certainly can. If you don't, no pressure, no pressure at all to do that. You can get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits. And now it is officially a free time. We can have some fun. So our opponent's finally going to get Profros online. The good thing is that we haven't seen any sort of graveyard action from our opponent. We still have Deathrite Shaman. We can at least kind of keep creature cards active in the graveyard, at least not active, but we at least exile them out of the graveyard with Deathrite Shaman. So at this point right now, since they do have Profros active, they do have Feldon on the battlefield, we probably need to try to leave up Deathrite Shaman as much as possible, just to kind of keep that away. So hopefully we'll leave that into our decision making. Now with Bloodsworn Steward, commander creature you control get +2/+2 and have haste, so they can swing in for a 4/5, and that's going to be a 6/5. I guess at this point, since we do have Underrealm Lich, because we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, we're sitting at 4 mountains, so we need to get to 5 more mountains, and that's going to be 10 to put us down to 11. But we can still go Courser of Crufix. And so we've got the, well, either way, we can't take care of Lord Windgrace because that flying creature is going to take care of us. So that's going to be 6 coming across. That puts us down to 15. And if we need to bad enough, what we can end up doing is goes Courser of Crufix. That'll be an extra land drop with Oracle. And do we want Titania? We can't play that out of the graveyard. We can end up going Tireless Tracker, and that'll give us a few more clue tokens. Yeah, I kind of like going Titania. Yeah, because we can just straight up just bring Arid Mesa back, so that's going to be good. So let's go for Titania. And so we're going to be able to bring Bloodstained Mire back. Oh, we should have gone for Courser of Crufix first. I apologize. That would have been an extra life gain, and in this particular matchup, that does make a difference. So we're going to go for Courser of Crufix. Let's get the land entering the battlefield. That's going to be Temple of Malice. That way we can at least gain an additional life. And we'll see if we will actually... We'll go Temple of Malice. Let's go and crack Bloodstained Mire. That'll give us another 5/3 Elemental. And then we can grab a mountain, and I think that'll put us at the range where we can maybe start going for some of these Valakut triggers. So let's go ahead and grab this last mountain. Crash of Rhino Beetles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we do actually have just enough for Crash of Rhino Beetles. +10/+10. Yeah, did we not put that on top or try to... Yeah, let's go and put that on top. It doesn't have haste. No, we don't need that. Let's see if we can't catch a land. All right, Blighted Woodland, that'll be good because we need to get some life gain. Courser of Crufix, there we go. Living Twister's on top. One of the new cards. One of the new cards from the new set. So anything else... No, we're simply just going to go and pass the turn over our opponent. Now, we can swing in with Underrealm Lich if we wanted to, but it's not going to be the best. So let's just go kick it over our opponent. But yeah, let's go and talk about some of the new cards that we did add to the deck. So Living Twister is a new addition. You know, typically with Lord Windgrace, what you want to end up doing is just ending up with this just value pile on the board. You can see we've got Underrealm Lich, we've got Titania, we're able to get some lands out, get some elementals going. Lord Windgrace is one of those commanders that, you know, getting it down, there may be some games where you just don't get down Lord Windgrace, but then there's other times where you can end up with some really good action and simply just Titania, Living Twister, and just kind of forcing your opponent to go for the, you know, spending a lot of the removal to get rid of some of your other good creatures, and then you can simply just use Lord Windgrace to just outvalue your opponent. Now with Living Twister, unfortunately we don't have life from the loam, so I think at this point what we might end up going is simply just going Imperial Seal. That way we can grab ourselves another mountain. Okay, so let's go Imperial Seal. Yeah, I think that would be good. So let's go Imperial Seal. And that way we can just get the chain going with Courser Crufix and Valakut. So let's put this, I think this is going to be our last mountain too. That's going to be on top. We go mountain. There we go, finally getting Valakut going, and that will end up being 3 damage to any target. So I think at this point we'll just go and send that up top. That's going to be one more life gain from Courser of Crufix. It's going to be 3 damage, and target opponent sacrifices a creature. Yeah, let's go for Blighted Defense. Let's go make our opponent sacrifice a creature. That's going to give us an additional 5/3 Elemental, and I think either way, because that should cut off Devotion once they have to sacrifice a creature, and should make it a little bit easier for us to swing in. Okay, that's just going to leave Bloodsworn back, and they end up sacrificing Feldon. So let's go ahead and push in. Let's swing in with Oracle, swing in Underrealm Lich, Titania, Courser of Crufix, and that last 5/3 Elemental. Because what we want to do on this one is we just want to try to knock our opponent's life total down pretty far. And whatever they decide to block with, what we can end up doing is kind of doing a quick little Toxic if we want to. But they just made the straight up trade, which we're perfectly fine with that. And then Lord Windgrace. Yeah, I think we just go Doom Whisper? Yeah, let's go with that. So we're going Exile Arid Mace, actual Exile Arid Mace because we're running out of mountains. I want that last black mana to our mana pool. There we go. All right, so we're going to get down Doom Whisper, and then anything else, we'll kick it back over to our opponent. But yeah, as far as the new cards in the deck, we did add the Living Twister, which we did saw, added Evolution Sage, which actually works out really well with Lord Windgrace. Evolution Sage is the new 3 mana proliferate landfall elf, so that's in here. So if you have a Lord Windgrace deck, no matter what the build, that is certainly something you should put in there. It's really good. Just getting a landfall proliferate is just, I don't know, it's one of those really nice things in Magic. We also have Ingrass Rampage. That took the spot of, let's see, I think it took the spot of the other, what is it? I think it took the spot of Dreadboard, just kind of having that different style effect to where you can at least deal with a creature or a planeswalker and just kind of force it into a artifact, or not, you can still have that artifact option if you want to. So we're looking at Temple of the False God. I think that's what we're going to end up going for. So we'll grab Temple of the False God. That's going to leave Golgari's Signet. So what we can do is we can swing in with a Doom Whisper. Now, if we end up just straight up going Toxic for 5, that's going to wipe out our entire board state and take care of the Elemental too. So we're going to gain an additional life. Do we want to, that's going to really wipe them out if we end up going for that. And I think I kind of like that. So let's do that. So let's go and push in with the entire crew. And we'll still leave up Deathrite Shaman because he's not going to be that good of an attacker. But we'll go and swing in with double elementals. Yeah, because we do it like this. Doom Whisper's going to have trample, so we'll at least get in for 2. They're going to have to throw some blocks around somewhere. And then once we end up going for Toxic Deluge, just go for a really nice reset. And then we'll go for that Deathrite Shaman activation because even if we swing in for 1, we can at least exile an instant or sorcery to make our opponent lose 2 life. So we're going to see the Bloodsworn block. It's going to be a 6/5 on our 5/3. Because either way, I think that's going to be... So let's say they end up blocking the Bloodsworn up top. That's 2 coming across. That's going to be... Yeah, either way, I think that's going to be lethal with this last attack. So there we go. Knock our opponent down to -4. Good game to our opponent. Shout out to our opponent for sticking that one out. You know, that was kind of had a lot of tedious things to do. You can see we're a little bit behind on the clock, but our opponent was able to play that one out. And, you know, thankfully, Feldon never had just a really good graveyard going. And it did help that we had Deathrite Shaman. But good game to our opponent. You know, it's always kind of worrisome to play against Feldon, especially, you know, getting that sort of haste option out of the graveyard, that 3-mana activation. And also, when you get down something like Sundial the Infinite, being able to end the turn and keep those tokens on the battlefield, you can end up with some really nice stuff, and especially with Profros. But thankfully, with Lord Windgrace, we're able to kind of close it out. And thankfully, with Titania, we just got in some really good extra elementals on the battlefield. So, if you enjoyed your time at the Lord Windgrace Estates, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.